Hey, welcome back to the shop. My name is Eric, and today I thought I would address something that's going on that's affecting people that are probably my age and older that are looking at retiring, and they're looking around their shop and they're seeing a lot of new old stock parts. For you guys that don't know what new old stock is, it's basically brand new parts that were bought years ago. They've sat on the shelves, and a lot of them are obsolete. They're no longer available. So they call them old stock, but it's still brand new in the box. So what are our options? Well, option one would be if you got lucky enough to either have one of your kids take over the business, or that you sold the business as a repair shop and the parts were included, the inventory was included with the sale of the building and business, or of just the business and the parts. See, some shops don't want your buildings, so they'll buy up just your parts and maybe the business name. You know, you've made a name for yourself with it. So that's one way. But I'm seeing that less common as time, goes on. Option two, you could have an auctioneer come in and sell right out your front door, piece by piece, but you're not going to get anywhere near what you had invested in it. You're probably not going to get as much as you had invested in it if you sold it as part of your business. It's all paid for, so I mean it's money. But like with our shop, if I had an auction today, I mean I carry a lot of cases of carburetor cleaner, PB blaster, belt dressing, and stuff like that, or chain dressing. That stuff will go all right. But a lot of the small, like the PTO clutches, the OEM warners, unless you know what machine that fits, it's not going to sell for much. And to a layman's person coming into your shop, they're not looking at how much value that you had in the shop. They're looking at how much money can they make. And when the hammer drops, it's all over. And what I've seen a lot of auctioneers do is that they see so much that they start boxing in groups. Like they'll put 3 or 4 PTO clutches together and try to move it fast. You're going to get pennies on the dollar. But that's one way to get rid of everything, even the junk. Somebody will take even your junk. Third option would be learning how to sell online and putting it up on eBay and Amazon, or just eBay, wherever you want to put it. There is a market for new old stock. I've got a friend that started the online sales pretty close to me or shortly after, and I'll give him a shout out, Randy Small Engine. And what he was doing was he was trying to corner the market on home light. That was his expertise. And he was going to dealers that were getting out and buying up all their new old stock home light parts, because that's where his niche market was home light. And it was great if you sent a message to him or his wife that it's a family business, that they would respond back, that they knew what they were talking about, and they knew exactly what kit went to what carburetor. And you weren't talking to just somebody selling online that is clueless to what they actually have. See, that's the advantage you have of also learning how to sell online your new old stock is you are the resident expert. You know what the stuff goes on. You know what it cost. But what I'm seeing is with the new old stock, it's actually going for more money than what list price was on that stuff years ago. I mean, we've had inflation and prices of parts have kind of gone up and then down, but if you have new old stock that's OEM, that's where a lot of guys are making money online with it. If you're carrying the aftermarket parts, not so much. The days of listing the whole, database that Sten's, Rotary, and all your manufacturers have are gone. You're not going to compete. There's too many of them been trying it, and they're taking a loss just trying to get rid of the stuff they've got. And what I'm also seeing right now is some of the shops that went under did go to auction, and there's people that are selling online stuff that they bought at those auctions for a greatly reduced price. So you can't compete with aftermarket. But the OEM stuff that's no longer available, that guys that are still using that stuff, has value. A friend of mine, his name was Mike, years ago. That man was a walking encyclopedia when it come to cars, especially old cars. And he worked in the parts department for years. And he and I were one of the early ones selling online. He was kind of selling, everything he could find at auctions and like that. There was no one set thing he was selling. He was just blasting all over. And at the time, I was buying boxes of, earbuds, headphones, CD cases, if you remember what they were. And I was selling those online at the time and doing pretty good. But he went the way of whatever he thought could make a buck. But he went to this auction, and it was a automobile repair shop, but they had a lot of parts. And what surprised me is a lot of the people that were there didn't see the value. They wanted to buy the stuff that looked pretty and that was out front inventory. But Mike went and bought this whole back room, and he gave $500 for it. And that man made big money off it, because in that back room, the prior owner had kept taking the old stuff and sticking it back there because it wasn't moving, so he just stuck it in this one back room. And you're talking headlights, taillights, switches. For a lot of the muscle cars, fender parts. It was unreal. He did really, really well on it. So there's your third option. You're going to have to learn how to sell online. eBay, I think, is probably the easiest and less strict. Amazon is more strict and got to jump through more hoops. And if you ever decide to be a seller online and try to make money at it, you're going to find out really quickly, at least I did, was when I was selling on Amazon, and I'll give you an example. We were selling Sten's parts online early on. Like I say, I was doing $30,000, $40,000 a month with them. And all of a sudden, once Amazon was seeing I was selling a lot of this and a lot of that that were Sten's products. Next thing I know, Amazon has linked with Sten's, and they've got set up 4 locations. And now I'm competing directly with Amazon. Who do you think is going to win? See, I got to pay Amazon to sell on their venue. Amazon doesn't pay themselves or have to pay anything. It's all gravy. And that was one of the reasons I got away from Amazon, later on, was you can't compete against the big guy. And I always called it, especially when I found out that Sten's had gone and done deals with Amazon and everything else. Told him, I said, you know what? You don't shit where you eat. And they were kind of taken back. And I'm like, what's that mean? I said, that means you don't dump your good dealers under the bus to take on someone like Amazon when all these other dealers, including myself, are Sten's dealers, and we're all selling on that market. And you do one of these. And I watched it. Same thing with some of these bigger companies that we were dealing with, that next thing you know, they're selling and competing directly with us on eBay. And I'm like, you know what? Screw you. I guess if I was younger, I might have got mad, but screw you. We're all done selling your products. You just took and you're undercutting your own dealers that you're selling to. And the Chinese did the same thing. The Chinese had it made with just the manufacturers doing OEMs and stuff. But they weren't happy enough. They jumped into the aftermarket to compete with, and that's kind of shitting where you eat. And then to come in and just blow everybody away and sell direct, you just lost all your dealers, your manufacturers, everybody. And that's what I mean by you don't shit where you eat. Well, for you older guys, it is a learning curve, but I think it'd be worth it. The better plan would be if you kidnap one of your grandkids and have them set up an eBay account and have them help you list and take pictures and stuff. I can do a video on just how to do that, how to set up an account, and what's involved in listing, and the type of photos you have to have, the size. And you have 2 options. You can either have them at auction and run them for so many days, or you can get a online store and put the stuff in the store using Buy It Now. And for some of the stuff that you just like to get rid of, you can have accept offers where somebody can come in and offer a little less than what you're asking, that you are open to it. So, and you can also set when you have offers available of if it's below a certain amount, decline it. If it's above a certain amount, from here to here, accept it, and it's all automatic. And it'll come down into your sold column. Now, for some of you younger guys, that this is another option for you older guys as well, is you younger guys most of you already have the ability to sell online. You've been buying online for numerous years, and you know how it works. Your technology is ahead of the old timers that don't want to change. So there's an option for you to go in and buy up all their new old stock. Be fair with them and cordial. And for you older guys, this is option 4. Instead of selling it yourself, selling it to some of these young guys. Or you could do like a consignee where you partner with one of these guys and you split the profits 50-50. Because you old timers have to know these young guys that are doing do the listing and sell online, there's a lot to it. There's just not throwing something up there and instant money. there's a process that you have to go through, and it is time consuming. So the younger guys have got to figure in their time. All right, so I hope that's helped some of you guys that are my age and older, give you some thoughts that there are other things you can do. And we'll catch you on the next video. Thanks so much for watching.